we are going to quickly look at the right way of looking for money. Money plays a significant role in human life, like we've been saying since the beginning of this series of sermons. It serves as a tool to meet needs, fulfill responsibilities, and support God's work. However, the pursuit of money must be guided by biblical principles to prevent it from becoming a source of sin. The Bible clearly outlines both wrong and right ways to seek wealth. While the wrong pursuit of money leads to spiritual destruction, broken relationship, and even damnation, the right pursuit of money brings blessings, glorifies God, secures eternal rewards, and bring joy to the heart. We are looking at just two things: the wrong way of looking for money and the right way of looking for money. By the wrong way of looking for money, we are looking at what people do contrary to the will of God so as to make money. The Bible highlights numerous dangers of seeking money in ungodly and unethical ways. These practices lead to spiritual decay, broken relationships, and eternal loss. When people pursue wealth without regard for God's commands, they risk not only their testimony, but also their relationship with God. So in this session, we are looking at the ways people err in their pursuit of money and the consequences of such actions. And one of the ways is loving money excessively. Look at me. Though the Bible says we must not love money, none of us dislike money. How many of us feel sorrowful when you make money? But there is a level to which you must not like or love money. 1 Timothy 6:10 says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." Oh, in Matthew 6:24, he says, "No man can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon." Hebrews 13:5 says, "Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he has said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee." Excessive love for money fosters greed, idolatry, and moral compromise. This misplaced affection often distracts believers from spiritual priorities and resulting in spiritual decline, broken relationship, and sorrow. Maintaining a love for God above all else keeps priorities aligned and relationships intact. Colossians 3:2 says, "Set your affections on things above and not on things on the earth." Another way of looking for money the wrong way is the pursuing dishonesty gain. Proverbs 21 says, "The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity to and fro of them that seek death." Ephesians 4:28, "Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his own hands, the things which is good, that it may have to give to him that needeth." Proverbs 11:1 says, "A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight." James 5:4 says, "Behold the hire of the laborers, who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, cried, and the cry of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. You know what? Anything you do to any man wrongly to make money is being noticed by God. He's paying attention to it. And one day, he will reward you. Dishonesty in the pursuit of wealth violates God's commands and destroys trust. Whether through fraud, exploitation, or theft, deceitful practices lead to instability and judgment. God values integrity and justice in all financial dealings. Engaging in honest labor reflects trust in God's provision and fosters a spirit of generosity. Upholding fairness and justice in business practices ensures honor before God and builds credibility with others. Compassion and fairness toward workers demonstrate a godly character and avoid God's judgment against oppression. Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is better to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. A good name. What type of name do your workers call you? Do your customers call you? Those who give you contracts, those who work under you. There is nothing you do that you will not be repaid. I told you a story before. I told you women, because it concerns you more. Yes, men also have part in it. That maid that works for you, treat him well. I give you food, you eat food, you drink water. What again? It's only food he comes to the world to eat. Don't agree to bring the child of anybody to be your maid. If what you do with him will not include planning for his future. You may be hearing this from me for the first time. Hear it well. Don't agree for any child of anybody to come and be under you, maybe your maid, for example. If what we do with him will not include planning for his future, if you will make him to take care of your children so that your children will have good future, and that one is a child of nobody, after all you are feeding him, if you are not feeding him, he will have died in the village, God will repay you. And I've told you before that those people that come under you as whatever, in many cases, God brought them into your life to prepare a good future for you. Harmony Estates was doing their annual Thanksgiving yesterday. Every year they invite me. Mama said, they say we are not part of them, and they still invite you to come. I say, Later they called me and said, you are going to minister. We are sorry for not telling you early enough. And I prepare myself on getting there because of the way the program went. The time was short. They said, you are going to minister for just 20 minutes. You know, Christian will minister, Muslim will minister. The chairman of the local government was there. And I quickly do it because within the 20 minutes I will pray for Tinubu. I will do this, I will do that. So I rush my message. But I still remember at a point, because I preach about the place of peace in a community. I said, learn this sermon. But I cut it short. So I came to this issue. I said, I told women in my church that the people that come to your life as maid, God brought them to your life to prepare a good future for yourself. The way you treat them today, in many cases, determine what your tomorrow will be. Though it was a rush sermon. And the Muslim cleric preached after me and said so many things. He preached in Yoruba, so many wonderful things that made all of us to laugh. When they gave the mic to the chairman said, he mentioned two things, but it was one he explained. From the sermon of the GO Bible pattern. He said in 1983. Okay, some of you don't know his father. His father is the Baba politics of Ifakoijaye. Those who are with I don't know if he did not work with Awolowo uncle. He said my father was locked up with other politicians in A3 during Buhari era. He said in the prison, he spent, was he 18 months? He said in prison or something. He said in the prison, he met a man his mother was a Ghanaian, his father was a Nigerian, something like that. And after the imprisonment, his father invited that man to come and work in their house as house help. He said we were very small then. I can't remember all of that thing he said, but this way I'm going. He said that same person that came to work in our house as house help is one of the people, I'm using my own word now, at the corridor of power in Nigeria today, very close to the president. He even mentioned some of the areas that man at the corridor of power had been of help to him. He was using it to buttress what I said. That was yesterday. If the chairman will hear and connect it with what happened to him, and you are my disciple will not hear and connect it with the life you live, so there is a question to be answered. Do you give what to an artisan? Don't let the desire to pay less make you maltreat that fellow. You discover that the amount this fellow is collecting is less than what you're supposed to collect for this job. Don't let him come to beg you. Add more. It is love of money that will make you to cheat buyers. Because there is no other place to buy. You are the only one that is selling around. And you know the amounts I'm selling this to. It's not right. You know what you look at? Jesus that is looking at you. Because when we say, don't look for money the wrong way, some of us may be thinking of what unbelievers do, such as gambling, stealing, robbery, idolatry, what's it called now? Sorcery. Those extreme things. God knows you will not do it. Satan also knows you will not do it. He's not going to suggest it. He's not going to suggest the one that looks small, that doesn't look serious, that you will simply fall into. You know what? When it comes to dealing with money, dealing with people about money, always remind yourself, I'm a child of God. Money must be my servant. Money must not be my master. I've had reasons to pay people more than what they demand. More than once. You say why? Because I feel that is what it worth. I do not say I waste money. I don't waste money. I'm prudent. But I don't allow my prudence to lead me into cheating people. It is part of love of money when you cheat people. Also, when you trust money to the extent that it doesn't allow you to come to fellowship as regularly, as punctually. That's love of money. I'm not saying you shouldn't work. You may even have reason to work on Sunday. If that is what your profession, your job demands. But make sure you are not doing it because you love money more than God. Because there is nothing going on in your heart that God does not see. Seeking money through impatience. Proverbs 13:11 says, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that getteth by labor shall increase. Proverbs 28:20, a faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. It's not only church members. Look at the trick mago pastors are using to rake money from good, bad, and ugly. You are my witnesses that we have never been pressurized to do that. I have kept Exodus chapter 25, verse 2 in my heart since the beginning of this church. Because verse 8 is where we got the name of this church. Tell the children of Israel that they bring me an offering. Of every man that give it willingly with his heart, you should take my offering. In verse 8 he says, and let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell in their midst, according to the pattern shown unto you on the mountain. I think that should be 8 and 9. That's where we got Bible pattern. And I do not remove the area of money. I told myself from day one, we are not going to beg for money from anyone that is not a member of this church. This church has been in existence for how long now? 40 years ago. 83 to 24. 40 years. And I have the glory to give to God. I've not been pressurized. I've not been tempted. Have I ever told you, take this envelope to your husband who is not a member of this church? Now, if I have that testimony to share with you, is that not enough to compel you to do it the way I'm telling you? There are a lot of wrong ways people use to look for money. In that book, I supply more than 20 with Bible passages. Read it on your own. The right way of looking for money, I'm not going to spend more time on it. I've been preaching and preaching and preaching and preaching. Number one, working diligently and honestly. Proverbs 24:23. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the least tendeth only to penury. 2 Thessalonians 3:10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded, take note, commanded, not suggested, commanded you, that if any will not work, neither should he eat. So in Ephesians 4:24, let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands, the thing which is good, not only to have for himself, that he may have to give to him that needed. So, Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 10 says, whatsoever thy heart findeth to do, do it with thy might. You know what? Working is major way God expects us to make money. And when you are doing it, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. All these things shall be added unto you. So when something else is calling and God is calling, you answer God. That thing whatever that thing will have answered you, God will answer. Then honor God with the work you do. Colossians 3:23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. Even in your place of work, as an artisan, as a maid. The Bible goes to the extent of telling maids how to behave in their master's houses. That you must do it in a way that it will honor God. Don't let your master blaspheme the name of God because of the way you handle his work. Then use money to glorify God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. Whether therefore ye eat or drink, and whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of God. How much do you do to the glory of God? All. Then avoid dishonest gain. There are all kind of system, worldly system now, They used to draw people into gambling. Even phone, credit, this, that. Look at it. Once it looks like gambling, don't go to it. And be generous in giving to God and be of blessing to others. The program of God is that money will follow two-way traffic. It will flow through you. From you, it will flow to others. Don't allow your life to be a pond where it will just be consumed. Every time God provides for you, He's providing for somebody else with you. Don't consume everything on yourself. Part of it is to be spent on the work of God. Part of it is to be spent to bless others. Then trust God. Don't trust that your money. Don't let it rule you. Don't let it determine the way you think, the way you talk, the way you behave. Some people, once their salary increase a little, they can't call one demon. They can talk to anybody anyhow. Be a fearer of God. 1 Timothy 6:17 says, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy. God is not against enjoyment. He said you will eat the fruit of your labor. He said you will not work for others to eat. He's the one who gives you everything to enjoy. But don't put your trust in that He gives you. Put your trust in Him that gives you. Then plan and save wisely. Proverbs 21:5. The thought of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of everyone that is hasty only to want. Yes, I've told you there is the need for you to do budgeting. Plan the way you spend the money. Women have told you, don't hide what you have and be spending only that of your husband. An husband, don't say because your wife has been taught to bring what she has to you, that you collect it and spend it on your own family. And treat your wife as if she falls from heaven. You are caring for your own brother, your own sister, your own mother, your own father. As if she doesn't have father, she doesn't have mother, she doesn't have brother, she doesn't have sister. After all, she's married. That's wickedness. Avoid greed and covetousness. Luke 12:15. And He said unto them, take it and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisted not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. It doesn't matter how much you have. That is not what your life should base upon. Be a blessing to others. You know what will happen? Whatever you lay your hands upon, God will cause to prosper. And it shall be well with you. How many of you agree it shall be well with you? Stand up, put your two hands on your head and say, it shall be well with me. Your two hands on your head, say, it shall be well with me.
It shall be well with me.
I will follow the path of the Lord. Say. I will not pursue anything at the expense of my relationship with God. Say it. And I will continue to be blessed by God. Pray for yourself. Give me the grace, oh Lord, that when it comes to money, it will be my servant. It will not be my master. I will not pursue it at the expense of my relationship with you. I will do what you say continuously, all the time, and it will continue to be well with me. Just like you promised, all these things shall be added unto me. Everything I need money to do, make possible for me to do. And give me the grace not to serve money, but cost money to serve me. So shall it be in Jesus' name.